Grow, Sell, and Retire is the podcast for the lazy overachiever. B.D. Dalton, author of True Gravity and Grow, Sell, and Retire, is here to give you his 25 years of secrets, tips, and systems to take your business to the next level. This is your chance to find out what is working in sales, marketing, and running your business. If you stop learning, you stop earning. Now, here's your host, BD, with today's GSR podcast.
Hey, Grow, Sell, and Retire listeners. This is BD Dalton here, bringing you some secrets for the lazy overachiever. And I'm going to interview for my Retire, Inspire, One book interviews, Chris and Susan Beesley, who went from being just regular business people to regular business people with a second job to a regular business people that now just get six-figure income running and helping other people do their business online. So here's my interview with Chris and Susan Beesley, how to never retire because you're always getting paid. Chris and Susan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting us.
No problem at all. And where am I calling you to, or where am I speaking to you from?
We're in our home office just outside London in the UK at the moment.
Perfect. But you spend a lot of time in France?
Yeah, we try to. We have a ski chalet business and a home in France. So we're there through the winter. We have a nice apartment in Spain. So we like to spend the warmer, nicer warm parts of the summer there, not the heat of the summer. That's us. That's what we like to do.
And we travel the world in the meantime.
Yeah, whenever we can.
That's perfect. So tell me about it. So was your retirement planned and the way you're living your retirement, was it what you set out when you left university? You said this is exactly what it looked like when I'm going to retire. Let's go back a bit.
Just a little.
We never went to university.
No.
Wow.
Fortunately, it didn't exist for me when I was at school. You had to be like super clever. And my dad said, I can remember the conversation I had with my dad, and he goes, "Never mind, dear, you're going to get a great skill and it'll serve you for the rest of your life." And I went to secretarial college, and he was dead right. It served me for the rest of my life. So very happy about that. Chris is a bit different.
Yeah, I decided I wanted to become an accountant, and at the time I decided I didn't need to go to university to start training. So I just went straight into professional qualification training. So university didn't even come into it, to be perfectly honest. Am I sad? Absolutely not.
No, not either of us, but we do encourage a good education because we believe that's really, really important. It gives people choices.
Yeah. Have our children been to university? Yes, they have. That was their choice.
Yeah, and it changes the way that people. There's different ways to learn, isn't there? There's on the job training and in real life training and university education and a mixture thereof.
Yeah, I think though, in actual fact, nowadays university gets used as a segregation tool, and I'm not sure that's right. Let me give you an example. Our eldest son went straight in to become an accountant exactly the same as I did. So he never went to university, and he qualified as an accountant. So he's no differently qualified to any other accountant out there. But he found that to continue moving up the corporate ladder, he was being deselected because he didn't have a degree. So he had to go and get an MBA. So while he was working, he went and got an MBA. So it didn't restrict his career progression. And to me, that's wrong because it doesn't make him any different an accountant or a different person. But hey, that's my own personal thought.
But this is a whole different conversation, and we could talk about this forever because we just really dislike the amount of dissing, if you like, for want of a better word, that people have around people taking university and college and graduate education. And well, I guess because we encouraged our children to go through it, and they've succeeded through that, but we're very happy they did. And like I said, it gives them choices.
Well, it's funny because you're either a villain or a hero, because all these people that make it in the big bad world and they're on TV and Dragon's Den, the ones that didn't have an official university education are held out as heroes. But then the people that are in the regular everyday jobs that are trying to fight their way up the ladder have to have them, like your son did. So it's an interesting dichotomy of standards for people. So it's
absolutely can only change the world one step at a time.
That's correct. So talking about changing the world. So I know we went back and then came forward, but so was your retirement plan? Did you say exactly how it's going to happen, and it happened?
Okay, so I mean, basically, we've been self-employed for, I don't know, well, probably 30 odd years.
25, 30 years, yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, we were working as accountants and management consultants doing that, which was fine. It was a good business. Gave us a good income, no time, but it gave us good income. And at the time, it was great. We enjoyed it. But, the one thing that always doesn't happen is the saving for retirement in self-employed land, if I can call it that. And as you get towards your 50s, you go, maybe we'll start thinking about this, which is exactly what we did. And so we started to look at alternative ways of generating a retirement fund, if you like. And for us, we looked at property because property was on the up and up. We're talking probably 2004, 2005. So we thought, okay, let's that looks like a good idea. So let's go and find out about it. So we went on a training course, an expensive training course, learning how to build a property portfolio.
Yes.
And, because there's lots of pitfalls on the way, and there's lots of different ways of doing it.
So you get the education to do it right.
Yeah, so we went to get the education. So we went and got the education, and we started building our property portfolio. And some of it was abroad, some of it was in the UK. And we thought, this is good. We're enjoying this. This is going to work until 2008.
Yes.
And, of course, 2008, 2009 hit the property market
big time.
But
yes.
It hit us big time as well. So all of a sudden, what was going to be a comfortable retirement nest egg, if you like, turned into a millstone round our necks rather. But you have to find a way to get through this stuff. There's no point in just crying over it and saying, well, okay, that's the end of that.
I did all that bit.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan did that, but at the end of the day, you say, right, okay, where are we going from here? So we sort of, withdrew a little bit, I suppose, brought the property portfolio down to, what we could manage. We lost some money, yeah, we lost a lot of money, in fact, but you can't live your life on what's happened in the past, I'm afraid, or certainly that's our view anyway. So
yes,
we continued working. We did the best we can, but of course we were going, well, okay, we'll have to find another way to generate retirement income, and nothing really happened for about 4 years after that.
No, but we did a fair bit of research, to be fair. Going back many years, we really got into personal development and started to see the world of entrepreneurship slightly differently. And we got connected with some really good people. And funnily enough, we got connected with a guy called Andy Shaw. And Andy had been very prolific in teaching people to create their retirement, if you like, although we didn't understand it at that time, through property investment. And with the crash, I read on the internet, and I don't know how I found it, but I read about how he had literally lost millions. And I mean, not just like 1 million, like tens of millions.
Yes.
Through his experience with the crash. And he went on to write at that time a series of books called The Bug-Free Mind. And it was how you can get over circumstances like that. And I sort of, when I wasn't sleeping too great, I would get up and I would read a bit of his book, and I'd come back and talk to Chris about it. I said, look, this guy has lost like 10 times what we've lost, and he's come through it, we can come through it. And I think for us, that was the real mindset shift around where we were and what we could do. And then we started doing some research.
And so how did you, when you guys both came to that realization, did you guys, and I don't know if you're list makers or date setters or things like that, but did you, once you went through that, did you say, okay, well, now being the accountant that you are, I'm now setting a year goal, or is it just a day-to-day mindset switch, or how did you guys start off? Because going from being wealthy on paper to being very poor on paper, and in real life, when it came to the property portfolio, you have to dig yourself back out and get through the sadness. And now you're working. Did you guys then put it on a calendar, on a list, or how did you guys make it for those first couple of steps to say, yeah, now we're going to do this?
Well, I mean, for us, I think we dug back into our accountancy and consultancy business and said, okay, so this is a good way of generating money at the moment. We now have to decide.
And we've got to survive.
What we're going to do, because, we've got to survive. And, we had mortgages to pay and things. So you end up sort of working as hard as you can. You have to cover the bases, if you like. You have to cover your monthly expenses. So that was the first step, I guess. Right, okay, let's get this solid. Now, from there on in, we said, okay, so property is not going to do it. It's not going to be around. It's not going to come back for years. What we have to do is we have to find another way. Now, back in 2004, funnily enough, somehow or other, we've been invited to a network marketing event, although we didn't know that's what it was at the time.
We were a little bit green in that area.
But what that did, it introduced us to the idea of passive income.
Yep.
As a way of generating an income, but not necessarily through the traditional route, such as property and things like that, and investments in shares and things. So that always stuck with us, that thought of, okay, so how could we generate a passive income? So fast forward to about 2009, 2010, we were in actual fact searching online for our clients, because our clients were in the veterinary profession and they weren't as up to date.
Very staid, I think, is the word you're looking for.
They weren't as up to date on the internet as they should have been.
Complacency runs
yes,
definitely. Yeah, basically. Definitely. So we were looking for ways that we could generate more business through the internet for our clients. Now, during that research, we actually found that you could actually build a business online. You could actually make an income, generate an income through having a business online. And we thought, well, okay, and it was just a thought that sort of goes in your head. And then we started to talk about it, and we thought, okay, well, maybe there's a possibility here. And I guess that sometimes in your life you get these set of circumstances that come together that create a big change for you. And as I say, we were sort of in our mid-50s, and retirement sort of is on the horizon, and you're looking and going, well, okay, what we're doing here now as our accountancy and consultancy business, we're working 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, always at the beck and call of our clients. And I have to say, the introduction, the invention of the mobile phone was probably the worst thing that ever happened to us.
24/7 contact, yes. Whenever, however.
We went on a long ski weekend, the phone's ringing when you're skiing down the slopes. But there we are, that's another story altogether. But the point being was that we started to establish that maybe there was a way that A, we could use this, and B, one of our goals in our retirement was to travel the world. and do a lot of the things that you only ever see on TV or in magazines.
And we definitely didn't do it in our 20s, did we, like kids do these days?
No,
Well, how did you guys, when you were going through this process, how did you guys choose what type of MLM or however the group marketing?
It wasn't a network marketing business. Not at all.
We didn't even choose the network marketing. We chose but we bought for ourselves so we could help our clients an online business training course that had all the tools that we could then leverage for our clients to help them stand out from the crowd and be one step ahead of their competitors. But we saw that as a possibility for ourselves. We thought, this thing's online, people can buy it. Could we have a business that provided online business education to small businesses? That was our first thought. And the more we researched it and the more people we talked to who were actually already having success in that area, and it's a method we now know to be affiliate marketing. Honestly, green as we were, we didn't know that's what it was called then.
Yes.
And they were very successful with it. And we thought, well, why don't we transfer our business skills that we have in the traditional sense, put them online and leverage these programs with the online marketing trainings that we could sell and generate our income that way. So we did it part-time to begin with while we were still running our consultancy. And it was incredible. We saw that the growth was there. We saw the potential was there. And obviously as accountants, we're going to go and we do our research and do our numbers. And we said, okay, well, let's give ourselves 6 months to see if this can generate us as a like or more income than we're getting through our consultancy, and could it be consistent? Because you have to test it. You've got to do that. It's my advice to anyone starting a business. You don't just go throw everything up in the air, walk away and say, like, I'm doing this now. Not unless you're put in a situation where you have to. And it worked. And long story short, we gave our clients 6 months notice after that period. And said, thank you, we're going to go and pursue a new career online, if you like. And that's what we did.
Yeah, I think it's also important to say here, though, that you have to, we found somebody who'd done it and was prepared to help us. And for us, that was a mindset shift because the guy we found, he lived in Berkshire, actually, so we wanted somebody in the UK who we could actually talk to and physically go and meet.
Yes.
As I said earlier, we were in our mid-50s. He was 27.
Yeah.
So we had kids older than him.
Nice.
But he'd done what we wanted to do.
That's cool. You got to find the people that have done it, been there, done that, bought the T-shirt, and had the bruises already.
That's it. And he was prepared to help us.
And that's cool. Then those are hard to find. I mean, it's or you have to invest in it, whether it's money or time or effort. So
both.
Yes.
But the thing was, so that was sort of how as Susan said, that was how we got started, and then we decided, right, okay, this is going to work for us, not just for the money situation, but also for the time situation. And that was what we really wanted for our retirement. It was time freedom and the money to make the choices on what we did.
That's awesome. And so if you guys right now, the first year, so when you were putting clients on 6 months notice, what type of numbers were we talking? What were the thousands of pounds that were being made?
We were giving up a multiple 6-figure income.
Cool. And you felt that now you've replaced that 6-figure income and can still go running around the world.
Yeah, and we don't have to work so many hours either.
Yeah, and I think for us, I mean, one of the things that came out of this change for us personally was that we established that we're passionate about teaching and training.
Never had a clue about that.
One of the things that the reason why a lot of affiliate marketing, whatever else gets a bad rep is you guys had built a business and built a life and contacts and credibility way before you went out and started trying to just sell stuff to people, which is what a lot of the different systems that are out there and different affiliate marketing situations create, is just people that says, okay, go and just sell it to friends and family. And it's in the
network marketing space, that's definitely true. But even that now is morphed into something quite different, and it very much blends in with the affiliate marketing model. We were lucky, like Chris said, our mentor, 27-year-olds, taught us the principles of what we know to be today attraction marketing. Yep. You build a strong brand. We had a strong brand in our management consultancy
within the veterinary
profession, and we were very well respected. But starting fresh in something brand new, you have to start brand new, and you have to establish that from day one, who you are, who you serve, and the value that you give them. And because we were taught that, that's what we've gone on to teach our students over the past 9 years now. And those who take it on board have a strength in their business that those, like you talked about, who maybe just don't do that, have. And that's paramount on the internet these days. The internet is not going away. It's not going to die. It's going to grow and grow and grow and morph into many different ways, particularly with AI and data that's floating around in the webosphere, for what the only word I can use. But it's so important. Nothing will ever replace people, I don't believe, and who you are and your reputation. And that is so important. And your integrity. And that's what we've built. And we have our contact information all over the internet. People go, well, don't you get fed up with people ringing you and calling you on Skype and stuff like that? We said, actually, no, because they don't do it that much. They might just check us out and see if we answer a phone, and they're quite surprised when we do. But because we've built this brand, they trust us even before they try and make that contact.
Yeah, and I think
when the big switch here, and whenever we're dealing with clients, whether it's on the wealth side or the coaching side, it's you guys did the right thing and had your bread and butter paid for, and then eased your way through it and knew that it worked. A lot of people either wholeheartedly drop it or don't put their whole heart into it. They just do it as a sidelight. And so then people don't take them on, and they don't take them seriously because they don't see the passion.
That's absolutely right. And I mean, we, in actual fact, interviewed a lady called Sharon Lecter. And if you don't know who Sharon Lecter is, there's a book out there called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by
Robert Kiyosaki.
But she's actually the co-author.
Yes.
And we interviewed her and asked her exact question. So how should people start their first foray, if you like, into entrepreneurship? And she said, absolutely, 100%, you should make sure that you do it alongside your current income source, whatever that is. And if you're determined to do it, you will find the extra time to build your business on the side whilst you are still covering your bills with your income from whatever your occupation is. And, you know, we share that video with people, you know, a lot of the time, because that is a very common question that we get asked. How do you start your online business? Do you just pack up? No, of course you don't. You know, you have to live. And if you don't do it the right way, what happens is normally generating an income takes a lot longer than people's perception.
Yep.
And therefore you end up in financial difficulty.
And then you become the desperation kicks in, and so then you start chasing people that are too close to you too fast, and chasing too few deals, and it makes things really seem quite difficult.
Exactly. And I think, you know, one thing certainly in today's world is people don't like being sold to. They love to buy, but they don't like being sold to.
Exactly.
And you have to become an expert at doing that. And you have to understand that people make buying decisions in their own time when they're ready, whatever causes that thing to happen, that trigger point, as we call it. And therefore, you can't be in a position where you're trying to convince people just to part with their money, because they won't. It doesn't work like that anymore. People buy from those, we say, retire, love and trust.
Yes.
And, if you build that relationship, you've got that brand that people can check out, then you'll have success. If you try and, become absolutely desperate to make every sale, then sorry, but our opinion, you won't succeed.
Sadly, no.
Okay, you guys, here's kind of some of the hopefully fun personal questions. So what are you guys reading right now that you guys that are keeping you going, either energy wise, business wise, or just chilling you out?
Oh, I've got, well, I'm always
We're reading this book called Retire, Inspire, One.
Wow.
But aside from that, I'm terrible. I read about 3 books at a time. I'm reading a book called Choose by Ryan Levesque.
Yep.
Which is very, very interesting. It's about finding what kind of entrepreneur you are and making sure that you align your passions with what you actually do as an entrepreneur. And it's very, very good. Chris, you're reading Oversubscribed by Daniel Priest. Yeah. What's the other one I'm reading at the moment? Oh gosh. Do you know?
Okay. No, it's
right, you've got to find it.
Sorry.
And while she's looking for that, you guys do a lot of stuff online. What's a bit of tech that's making your life easier right now, or more fun, or more engaging with your clients?
Sorry, can you just repeat that question?
It's what type of tech right now are you guys finding that makes your life easier, more fun, or engages more clients?
Zoom.
Zoom is an amazing tool, because nowadays with technology like this, I mean, we can talk to people one-on-one on video. We can talk to people one-on however many on video. We can do webinars. We can share it live on Facebook.
We can do training courses, paid and free.
Yeah, I mean,
it's brilliant.
I mean, technology, the video technology is awesome nowadays, and you have to use it, and you have to be prepared to use video if you're going to be successful online. If we go back to the days before the internet, people used to buy from people, and that was the only way they could do that, was literally go to the garage, go to the shop, or whatever. Today, people still buy from people. It's just there's a convenience.
They don't have to look at the whites of their eyes.
No, there's a convenience factor nowadays. So it's called the internet. You can go on there and buy whatever you like in a few clicks. But if you want customers who are what we call long-term and repeat customers, so raving fans, so they'll buy whatever you offer.
Yes.
Then you have to have that relationship. And to us, one of the key ways of building and keeping that relationship is through video, because people still buy from people, and that's why you have to, we love to talk to people, but we like to do it face to face, but across the world.
And it's fabulous. And the book, the reason I went to get it, because it's got a subheadline, and I thought it's important that your listeners actually know the subheadline. It's Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. Yes. And the subheadline is The Gateway to Wealth and Prosperity. We've got to know Dean very, very well over the last 6 weeks. We've been working with him and Tony Robbins. It's been an amazing and exciting project around helping people take their knowledge, either knowledge they have, skills they have, hobbies that they have, and turn that into an educational community or mastermind. It's completely changed the face of the internet, I'm going to say. If you've never heard of it, trust us, you're going to hear about it in the next 12 months because it's pretty amazing. And a lot of people have entered entrepreneurship, and particularly online entrepreneurship, through having the suggestion that actually, you know what, you know something, you can go and share what you know with a group of people who want to know what you know.
And get paid in the process.
Get paid in the process. It's the start of a new project for us, and it's doing really, really well, and we love it.
Very cool. So, and last thing, if somebody just tunes into the last minute of this podcast, if you guys were to give us one top tip, one thing that they could just, if they had to get a tattoo, this would be the tattoo of the podcast. What's your quote or your focus for people to sit back now and take away from what we've talked about today?
If we're talking about retirement, which we are, it has to be the quote that we had in our book, which is, you only have one life and it's not even 100 years, so why not be happy? And that was from the first Norwegian woman to climb Everest. I think it sums up our life. It sums up other people's lives. They should just not let things go because they've only got one of them.
Yeah, and I think retirement is the start of a new adventure. It's not a point in time covered by a stop sign.
That's great. No, it's fabulous. So, Chris and Susan, thank you so much for coming on the Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast in our Retire, Inspire One series. It's been great having you on the show.
We've had a lot of fun, and we really, really thank you for inviting us. The more we share our stories, the better it is, and the more people we can help.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Grow, Sell, and Retire. For more information, tools, or to book one of our team members to work with your team, business, or to speak at your event or conference, visit bartdaltonconsulting.com or email contact@bartdaltonconsulting.com. Buy the book True Gravity on Amazon. If you want to work for the rest of your life, that is your business. If you don't, that is ours.